So how important is being in a constant journey of healing?
Most important job of life.
And what happens if we don't continuously heal? Or we just block ourselves from wanting to heal, wanting to face those shames, insecurities, past pains? What happens if we block those out for years or decades?
It's our choice. I'm not going to judge. I do believe there are only two reasons why we are alive, and I think if we strip away the accessories and the trinkets that the world sells to us as the metrics of success, like how many social media likes do you have, how much money do you have, how much fame. In the book I say JPF is always more valuable than FFA. Joy, peace, and freedom is 1,000,000 times more valuable than fame, fortune, and applause. Mm-hmm. And ask anyone who has fame, fortune, and applause what they would be willing to give for joy, peace, and freedom. So we get to live, the great thing about being human is we get to live as we wish, and I'm in no position to judge how anyone's living. Personally, I believe when we get to the last hour of our last day and we strip away all the things so many people are chasing, I deeply believe only two things will matter. Number one, who did you become? As compared to our promise, how much of it did we materialize through the work we're talking about? And number two, how many people did we help?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like, and they're connected because the more you own your truth and move through the layers of fear, doubt, disbelief into your most creative, productive, powerful, loving, decent, noble self, the more you will start to see yourself as an instrument of service to the world. I think that's our fundamental nature. It's to give.
What happens when we don't look at our life in service to other people? If we don't think of ourselves as, I'm here to be of service to my, couple of friends or my family, in a smaller group at start, or if we just don't look at our life from a place of being of service, what happens to us?
I think we incrementally die before our death. I believe, I definitely believe in living a beautiful life. I definitely believe in doing good for yourself and your family. It's incredibly important. I've written a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, but there's nothing wrong with getting a Ferrari. I don't have one. I'm more interested in this little Fiat 500. It's this iconic little car that, I did some research and there's one for sale for 4,200 euros, so that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. But we're sensual beings. If you want to live a beautiful life, good, materially, awesome, I'll help you do it. Having said that, so much joy comes from service. I mean, my life changed when I stood in Nelson Mandela's prison cell a number of years ago, and and it was just stunning how small it was. Here was this man incarcerated in Robben Island for 18 years of 27 years of incarceration. He said his greatest regret was his son was killed in a car accident, and they wouldn't let him out of prison to attend his funeral.
That's sad.
Et cetera, just tortured in so many different ways. So I asked the guide, I said, did you know him? And he said, yes, I served with him as an ANC prisoner for 8 years.
Come on.
Yes. And I said, of course, well, what was he like? And he paused and he said, oh, that man was a humble servant. I've never forgotten that term, to be a humble servant. So on my good days, I remember it very, very deeply. And I think if we could all in our own way, be humble servants. And the paradox is, if you want to be a billionaire, if you're coming from a place of love, humble service, wanting to see the people who put food on your table rise and transform. Your apps, your products, your services are going to be magic. And the job of an entrepreneur is to push magic into the marketplace in a world where most business people push mediocrity. This is why, doing the work to come from a place of service and love. Like, again, turning down the ego, learning the tools to turn up the voice of your heroism so you built intimacy with who you truly are. This is not just a recipe for happiness. It's a recipe to materialize whatever you want.
Right.
Because then you start following your bliss, doing what you're going to be best at, working with love and excellence and mastery. Your energy is tireless, but you push masterwork into the world. I was in Florence recently and I saw Michelangelo's David.
How was it?
Nice? No, it was amazing. Yeah. But, that was a work of love, not a cash grab.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't doing it to make money back then.
If you do something to make money, your focus, time, energy, and intention is off pushing the magic that will actually make you money.
Ooh. So what should we focus on instead? Pushing
beautiful work into the world, working with honor, seeing your job as a craft, getting better every day.
What are you talk about in the book? Is it the 8 forces of wealth or the 8 forms of wealth?
8 forms of wealth.
8 forms of wealth. What are these forms that we should be thinking about then and applying to our life?
It's an absolutely revolutionary model that has helped my highest level clients, like the billionaires, the titans, the sports superstars, the movement makers, terrifically. Because a lot of them come to me and they're frustrated. They're saying to me, for example, I've got $14 billion. I've got the yacht, I've got the private jet or 2, I've got 6 homes, and I've filled my life with so much complexity.
Stress.
And stress, I'm not enjoying any of it. And so the 8 forms of wealth, if you like, I'll go right through them. So the model is in the book, but the first one is self-mastery. Our society, the context is our society has told us you are successful if you have a lot of money. Essentially, that's it. Even if you hear sometimes people introducing podcasts, we have so-and-so here. Whoa, I can't wait today. He's a true billionaire. Well, what about the ditch digger? What about the firefighter? What about the teacher? But our society has hypnotized us. I can't believe it. Today I'm talking to a billionaire. So money is only one form of wealth. The other forms of wealth. Self-mastery. I mean, why did the great saints, seers, and sages talk about self-knowledge? It's one of the greatest forms of wealth. The Temple of Delphi had a little inscription at the entrance. Know thyself. Once you know, we've been talking about self-knowledge. That's a lot of work. It's the secret of joy. So self-knowledge, self-mastery, incredible form of wealth. Getting to know yourself, getting to know your true powers versus your fake powers, your creativity, your heroism. Second form of wealth is family. My partner and I, we went to her grandmother's 90th birthday a while ago.
Wow.
I had a chance to sit down with her. I try to sit next to elders on airplanes and on trains and interview them. I said, what's the most important thing you've learned from life after 90 years or 89 years? And she said, family. And for me, family is so important. Like, what's the point of being a success in the world if you've lost your family in the process? And serving your family, and creating what I call perfect moments for your family.
That's cool.
So family is incredibly important. Third form of wealth is health. Someone once said to me, health is the crown on the well person's head that only the ill person can see. I've worked with super rich people as their mentor. They got sick because of what it took to get there. Now, you can do it with balance and health, of course, great health, but they lost their health. And now they don't care about their money. All they're doing is traveling the world looking for healers and doctors to try to get their health back. So health. Fourth form of wealth is craft. It's such a great form of wealth to fall in love with what you do. I was sharing before we started, even when I journal about my work, it's in air quotes because it's not work for me. It's a privilege. So your craft, like just each day being on the process of getting better, learning more, reading more books, watching more podcasts, polishing, refining, optimizing, it's such a great source of joy. Pushing yourself to the razor's edge of your highest talents is such a source of enthusiasm. Next form of wealth would be money.
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video.
You know, it's important. It allows you to do amazing things. It gives you freedom to make wonderful choices, and it allows you to get involved in philanthropy, which I'm a big proponent of philanthropy. Helping children with leprosy rise is my focus right now. Next form of wealth would be adventure. We are nomadic. We are meant to travel. We are meant to take risks. We are meant to grow. We are meant to seek awe and wonder, even if it's just an LA sunrise.
Yeah.
Did you see the sunset last night?
Every night's pretty magical here. I mean, if you go out and watch the sunset here, you're gonna be like, for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. The way it hits the mountains, the way it hits the ocean, it's special here.
Yes, and I think adventure, even if it's just a conversation with someone interesting. So that would be the next form of wealth. Your circle of genius, your COG, spending time and surrounding your life with people who are living the lives you want is a form of wealth. Stripping out the energy vampires, the dream stealers, stripping out the toxic people, stripping out the people who don't get you. Can we talk about the place you're at in your...
Sure.
So you told me you're feeling so much peace in your relationship right now. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does your partner get you like no one else has ever got you?
She understands and accepts me 100%. 100%. And it's beautiful. Well, I think a lot of it is partly half my responsibility of like entering the relationship saying, this is 100% of who I am. This is everything from my past that I'm proud of, that I'm not proud of, my mistakes, my flaws, my insecurities. I'm not changing who I am. I'll grow and I'll be on a journey of growth forever, but this is who I am. And she was like, I love all of it. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's hang out for a while and see if that's actually true. And her actions and behaviors kept matching that, her words. And I was like, okay, this is amazing. So it feels beautiful, peaceful. Yeah. And understood, but also like celebrated for who you are. You know, that's something she does in a big way.
That, and I'm sure you realize it, but that is worth all the gold in the world.
That's incredible. It's incredible.
Often we need to, I've seen this with my clients, they get to a place of wealth to realize economic wealth is not that wealthy. I mean, how much does it take to live a beautiful life? Not that much.
No.
So then why do people need as much as they think they do? So what you just shared with me, someone who gets you is an incredible form of wealth.
Yeah.
So the next form of wealth is circle of genius, being surrounded by your love partner, your family, friends, etc., people who get you. Yeah. And I know some people are going to go, yeah, but what if my family doesn't get me? Yeah. That's another conversation.
Yes.
And then the final one is service. I used to call it legacy. There's a chapter at the end of the Everyday Hero Manifesto where everyone's talking about legacy right now. Joseph Campbell, to live in the hearts of those you leave behind is not to die. I used to believe in it so much. What will be your mark on the world? Marcus Aurelius in Meditations, he says, it does not matter what the chattering tongues of prosperity say about you. And as I say in the chapter, I say we're all going to die. We're going to be a pile of dust, whether you're a billionaire or a street sweeper. We end up as a pile of, I don't know how big it is, but I'm just, for the purposes, we all end up as a pile of dust in someone's urn next to their Little League trophies above their fireplace.
Right.
That's all we are. So it doesn't matter how we live, how we're remembered after we're dead. What matters viscerally is how we live and serve and create and produce while we are alive.
Yeah.
And so the chapter is just like, legacy doesn't matter. It's a sport of an ego. Getting your name on a hospital wing is a sport of an ego. True giving is anonymous giving. And so the final form of wealth was like leave a legacy, but now it's just service. And I believe, I've lived a fair number of years, and I really believe that it's an incredible form of wealth. Discipline is a muscle. You are someone's undisciplined, and then you get out of the bed and you get up early, or you make your bed, or you do 25 push-ups or whatever, and you do it and you do it and you do it. And through the power of neuroplasticity, the malleability of the human brain, it's almost like a metaphor is for anyone who wants to make a change and who says, I can't do it. Well, your